Hey Pokemon trainers, welcome to another edition of Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. Happy Friday. So yeah, just came off of a pretty, I'm not going to say it was a devastating loss on Torrential Cannon, but it was a loss, right? It was against Leaf Charge. It was a pretty big time loss. We had the type disadvantage, and we weren't getting very good draws off of that one. My opponent sort of ran away with the game, and that's okay. That's to be expected. But we're going to jump in with a Relentless Flame right now and see if we can't redeem ourselves of this shameful play. So let's get the old Pokemon Trading Card Game Online to find us an opponent, and great. Another disadvantage for us on this one. I wish I could have switched around these two games, but that's okay. We have seen before that this Relentless Flame deck can be effective against Torrential Cannon, especially with a Nidorina, and a Nidoqueen in the opening hand. So that shouldn't be too bad. We should be on our way to an early Nidoqueen. But we'll see how it goes. So we're going to How here. See what we can pull. There's a Charmander. We'll put that on. Timer Ball? Sure, why not? Okay, so we'll grab Charmeleon and Charizard. And then we'll be set to go with kind of whatever it is that we need. So that wasn't too bad of an opening hand. We have two copycats in hand, which is fine. We have Nidorina ready to go. And then we'll have a Nidoqueen coming up here very shortly, as well as a Charizard. So we should be in pretty good shape here. If we can outpace our opponent. But a Pokemon fan club will make that problematic. Okay, we're just going to continue going down this line here and attaching energies. Let's go ahead and bite this thing. We'll take a little bit of damage off of that, and we'll be ready with Nidoqueen next turn. And that's going to put her at 60 damage, but that's going to also put us in a spot where we can copycat next turn, and we should be in pretty good shape, or at least not too bad of shape. And it looks like our opponent is pretty much keeping pace with us. Other than their Farfetch'd, I think that does put them slightly ahead. But not too much to worry about, I don't think. We'll go ahead and copycat here. I'm going to Queen's Call for another basic. Depending on what I get here. My opponent is upset about something. Not quite sure what. I think I'm going to grab the Charmeleon and we'll just start going down this other Charizard line. And that should put us in a pretty good position. I'm going to wait on the whatchamacallit. What is it called? I don't even know. Roaring Resolve. There we go. The Roaring Resolve. I was gonna find it somewhere in there, and getting another evolution Pokemon on the board is gonna be really good for us with this Charmeleon, because that's gonna bring up our damage even higher. An Amnesia here is gonna be pretty problematic, but I don't need Nidoqueen to be in the active position forever and always, right? I just needed that quick opening with the Nidoqueen to be able to get rid of that Farfetch'd off the board. But we're going to be in a good spot to have two Charmanders on board, and we have a Cynthia, we have a Copycat, we have a few things going for us where we can get some draw and stuff like that. So this shouldn't be too big of a problem. And I do have a switch in hand as well, so that's going to allow us to get Charizard up fairly quickly. So not too bad, right? Not too bad. Looks like my opponent only got one off of their Powerful Squall. So that's pretty lucky for us, for them to not get a very good Powerful Squall off that very first one. But Blastoise is problematic, right? Blastoise is always problematic. So let's see what our opponent comes up with. Okay, we only took the big 20 damage on there. And that's fine. So we're going to do that. We can nest ball for another Nidoran. And that's fine. Switch Charizard in. We'll Queen's Call for our other Charizard. Yep. Let's go ahead and do that. Get these two ready to go. And then we're just going to continue to keep powering up the old Nidoqueen with as many evolution Pokemon as we can get on the board. And I'm going to start firing this one up sort of manually so that I don't lose that initial 20 off of that Charmeleon, or off of that Charizard rather. Let us go ahead and Roaring Resolve, that's fine. Plenty of energy. And then we'll Cynthia here. And get a nice... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I just got my other Charizard. Give me Charizard back. There he is. That was kind of lucky. Jeez Louise. Alright, so let's go ahead and kill Golduck. We'll take out Golduck and we'll move forward from here. There's our other Nidoqueen, so that's pretty good. That's going to be pretty good if we can Queen's Call for another Nidorina, and we'll have 2 Nidoqueens ready to go to take out this Blastoise. So not too bad. See what my opponent pulls off of this powerful Squall. Hopefully it's just as good as the last one, and it looks like it was. So that's pretty lucky that our opponent only got 1 energy off of both of their powerful Squalls. So Blastoise definitely will not be coming out this turn. And we'll be able to take a free Pidgey, I think. And this will put us ahead in a pretty significant way. Luckily, though, that Cynthia didn't end up being a misplay with the Charizard. We were able to draw it right on back. So not too bad. Let's Queen's Call for another Nidorina. That's fine. We'll put Nidorina on here. And then we'll get another energy on this Charizard. We're going to continue doing Roaring Resolves on this Charizard. I don't mind losing this one at this point. I'm going to leave the Kukui in hand. And then we'll just take out Pidgey here. And this will also limit our opponent to their draw as well. So not too bad. And there's our own Farfetch'd. But our board is looking really solid right now. Really solid. And I don't mind having a heavily damaged Charizard in the driver's seat because we have our other Charizard ready to go. So as soon as my opponent hits the old Hydra Tackle, we'll be ready to kill it with the Roaring Resolve. Even then, we can attach kind of as many energies as we want to our second Charizard and move forward from there. It looks like my opponent's going to go for it. It may have been prudent to wait on that one for a moment, because this Blastoise is certainly definitely going down. And I think we can probably do it with Nidoqueen. That's 51. No, we can't. So it has to be Charizard, which is fine. And I'm going to need Brock's Grit here coming up. But at least we're not going to be grabbing anything out of the deck this time. So that's not too bad. So let's put this here. Alright. So we take the victory off of that one. So not too bad on that game. I was pretty happy with that. And yeah, we'll just we'll take the win off of that. I'm pretty happy with that win, especially against the Torrential Cannon where we knew we had the type disadvantage. I don't know. I feel like I could play one more. Let's play one more on the old Relentless Flame. I wasn't feeling Torrential Cannon today, but we'll do 2 on Relentless Flame and see if we can't grab another quick win off of that and close out this Friday right? Close out this Friday right with 2 wins and 1 loss. So we are going to get up against the old Blazing Volcano deck. I think this deck is slightly better than Blazing Volcano, but we could get taken by by surprise here. Do we want to go first? No. In case we get a Farfetch'd, we don't want to go first. And there's Farfetch'd, so that worked out. Pokemon Fan Club, beautiful. How beautiful. Farfetch'd opening, beautiful. Pretty much everything that we kind of need. I wish these two were their stage 1s, but you know, we'll just we'll move along with what we've got, and try and grab another win off of this one. Nice. So our opponent getting 2 tails there is extremely helpful. Macargo can be a real pill. There goes Shuckle. We're gonna get a fresh squeeze and probably a little bit of energy drink here coming up soon. But that's fine. That's completely fine. And actually, I just realized it's going to be a little bit better for us by for playing against this deck in that Raikou, who's able to discard that top card on the old deck, and cause that discard for both players, right? They cause that discard for both players. So the more energy we can pull out of our deck, the less likely it's going to be that we're going to get affected by that attack. Maybe Ponyta would have been better here, but we'll have other opportunities to get Ponyta up. So let's go ahead and grab a collect here. No Ponytas, but we did get a Nidorina, and so that's going to get our Nidoqueen going fairly quickly. And we should be in pretty good shape on this one. Pretty happy with this. It looks like my opponent's going to Mallow here, which is going to allow him to stack a few cards on top of his deck. And that's fine. It's like a super Macargo. Okay. And this is going to really allow us, our opponent sort of stalling out like this and being forced to use Mallow in that way, just to get something going, is going to be really, oh my goodness, it's going to be really good for us. I'm going to start with Nidorina, and then we'll move forward from there. So let's go ahead and grab a collect, draw a couple more cards, and this is giving us a pretty significant advantage on our opponent here. But I imagine my opponent just grabbed exactly what they needed, and then they're gonna smooth over for something else, or they'll probably just get whatever else that they put on top of there. But we have the Nidoqueen. Copycat will not be prudent right now. Let's go ahead and grab a Charmeleon, see what else is in here. Alright, not too bad. 12 energies in deck with these bad boys in hand. This shouldn't be too big of a problem. Let's go ahead and take another collect. And if need be, we can just drop Nidoqueen into the active position and have her do 60s or whatever. As soon as we can get like a Ponyta on board, it should be fine. We should work it all out. Having Nidoqueen go up against Raikou as well is probably pretty prudent. That 130 or even Charizard will be able to take it out in one hit with one Roaring Resolve. So we'll be in an all right position here. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, we're gonna Queen's Call for a Ponyta. Go ahead and grab that. We don't really need a Timer Ball right now because we have the Rapidash in hand. Do not want to Copycat. Do I want to? I can't kill this. I could with Kukui. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to get rid of this Slugma off the active position. We might have to worry about Entei. Sorry, this is Entei, not Raikou. Jeez Louise. I've been saying his name wrong the whole time. Why didn't somebody tell me? I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and Kukui for some draw. Yeah, I think we have every single Pokemon that we could ever possibly want. We're going to retreat into Nidoqueen. We're going to take out Slugma. So that'll be a perfect 80 damage on that, and that puts us in a really beautiful position, and that puts us in position to get 2 Rapidashes on board. But I do need to be mindful of my Nidoqueen, because Nidoqueen in this deck really drives forward the deck with the Queen's Call. The Queen's Call is sort of the star of the show, and I think Nidoqueen is really the star of this deck, even more than Charizard. Charizard can hit the big hits, but Nidoqueen is such a useful Pokemon. She can even get her hits up really high with plenty of the evolution Pokemon on the board. So I'm pretty happy with this right now. And let's see what old Matt Cargo is going to give us. I would mention energy drink would be good. And I do believe that shuffles first and then draws. So I have made that mistake before. So in case you guys were all wondering, whatever it is you put on your deck with Matt Cargo is not going to work with Copycat. It's not going to work with Cynthia, because you definitely get a shuffle before you draw. So whatever Matt Cargo puts on top is just going to get shuffled back into the deck, and it's not going to really matter. So you definitely want to do your Matt Cargos afterwards. Just a little piece of advice there. We have a handful of everything, so we're just going to put everything onto the board. And do I want to do any of this? No switches. Actually, I could switch Nidoqueen out of the active position. I think I would feel a little bit more comfortable doing that, and then putting Charizard in, because I kind of want to protect my Nidoqueen going forward. And I don't mind losing this Charizard, because I definitely have another Charizard. But Nidoqueen, like I said, is really the driving force in this deck. So let's go ahead and put something on Rapidash. That's fine. Don't need a Timer Ball still. Let's switch into Charizard. I don't want a Copycat right now. Let's go ahead and Queen's Call for another Charmander. Or do I want to get my other Nidoran up? I think Charmander will probably be better. And then we'll push down our Charizard line again. And hopefully we can get this Farfetch'd off the board. That would be nice. We can Timer Ball for a Charmander. No, that's fine. We still have Queen's Call. And I will take a little bit of damage on Charizard. No big deal. Had a little bit of a pause there. I guess he had to think about it for a moment. And then we're going to take out Shuckle in the worst way possible. And I think Brock's Grit might be prudent here coming up. Let's see. Nope. Still not very good, Brock's Grit. We will have to worry about Eruption, but that's fine. We still have Brock's Grit. Even if we do discard an energy, it's not that big of a deal. And once we take out this Entei, we should be cruising after this. Once we get rid of Entei, we should be cruising. And Shuckle, actually, that's interesting. Shuckle did do Fresh Squeeze. My opponent never benefited from any of this energy that got put into the discard pile, because Shuckle was never able to do an energy drink. So Charizard may be going down here, and that's fine. If my opponent Makar goes for a basic energy on top of their deck, Charizard will definitely be going down. But we do have Nidoqueen ready to go, ready to take out whatever is in her way. And looks like we did get a big amount there, and that's fine, because Nidoqueen is our queen, right? Nidoqueen is the queen. We don't need that. Let's put this up. Let's put this here. That's fine. Let's Queen's Call for Charmeleon. So that should put us at 160 damage. So 51, 50, 150 plus 10 is 160. Rock Script might not be too bad here. We can put this Charmander here. Brock's Grit. Sort of get everything back into our deck that we need. There we go. Not too bad. And then we'll just Power Lariat this thing off the board. And we're going to be in a really good position where that puts us ahead on prize cards. That takes away my opponent's largest threat at the moment. I know Combuskin is going to evolve here, and we're going to have to deal with Blaziken here in a moment. But we have things to deal, right? We have our other Charizard ready to go. We have another Charizard ready to go in deck with Queen's Call and all that. And even this, a Blaziken's not going to be too bad. So 150. Once we get our other Charmeleon on the board with Queen's Call, that's going to be big hits, right? Big hits. Only the biggest hits. And it seems my opponent will not be running out of gas, and he gets 2 more Entei's on board, which is fine because they're pretty slow, and we have our board really built up, really strongly built up. So I don't mind. And that does leave us room to do a copycat next turn. So that shouldn't be too bad. And we can hope that my opponent becomes hopeless here. So let's see what he comes up with. Okay. There's the old switcheroo. Houndour? Yeah, Houndour. Houndour. And interestingly enough, we may be able to just put Rapidash in, take out Houndour, and be ready to go, and hope for the heads on the agility there, and then that would protect us against anything from Entei. So that might be a prudent move for us to make, even if we discard this energy. I won't mind, I don't think. Because, I mean, I'd rather lose one Rapidash than a Nidoqueen. Although, I don't know. I mean, we have our board built up, I mean, kind of as big as we need it to be. So I'm not sure if I really need to maintain Nidoqueen on the board or not. But certainly right now we have a hand just absolutely chock full of energy. And that's not great. What does this do? 60. So we can definitely take that out. Let's put one more energy on here. Just so we can retreat out our Nidoqueen and not be so far behind on energy here. We're going to Queen's Call for a Charmeleon. And since we have our other Charizard in hand, we're going to be in a really good spot. So let's retreat out Nidoqueen. Let's put in Rapidash. We will agility this thing, hope for the heads. Come on, baby heads. Yes. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad at all. That is one thing that I've learned, right, playing all these games, is that overkilling isn't necessary, right? Overkilling an opponent's Pokemon is not strictly necessary. You should not use excessive force to take out a weaker Pokemon if you have the means to take it out with a different type of Pokemon. This Rapidash was absolutely perfect for taking out Houndour. We did not have to put our Nidoqueen in danger of that Entei, and Rapidash is also better at dodging attacks with their agility. So I think that was a pretty prudent move there. Pretty happy with that. And that puts us 2 prize cards away from taking this game out. And I think also keeping this steady rotation of Charizards on board hasn't been too bad, but we could lose something here. There's a Charizard, and I don't mind losing that Charizard because I do have another Charizard ready to go on the board. So this shouldn't be too bad. And that leaves that also leaves Rapidash in a position where it can stay healthy. Okay, and that does not even take out Charizard, which is fine. But that puts it in a really, really bad spot to where we can't get it out of the active position. Alright, we're going to have to put another energy here. And we're going to Cynthia and look for a switch. We have one more left in the deck, so we're going to Cynthia and look for a switch. Hopefully we get it. We do not. Okay, that's fine. Queen's Call for what? I don't know. Nothing at the moment. So we'll leave Charizard where he's at. Yeah, we'll leave everything where it's at. We weren't able to get the switch, unfortunately. But I think we're still in a position where we can do some damage here. Unfortunately, Entei will not be going down, but having Charizard in the driver's seat, this badly damaged Charizard is fine. I can push for another Charizard because we do have one more Brock's Grit in deck. So pushing for another Charizard might not be too bad. And I still have 2 Rapidashes on board. Although Rapidash is not the greatest attacker in the world. So let's see how we can do this. So that's only one Nidoran female in the discard pile. So we could be looking for this other Nidoran female, and that's fine. And we'll see if our opponent plans to use some excessive force here. Actually, that would be excessive force. Yeah. So once again, my opponent's just discarding energy just to do extra damage on a Charizard that doesn't really need to have extra damage done on it. We can put this Charizard in. That's 50, 150. I mean, I could take out this Entei with my Nidoqueen, and then keep this Charizard for the other one. And I think I will do that. Let's howl. Kukui. Queen's Call for Nidoran. Oh, nope. I don't have another Nidoran. Well, there you go. Nidoqueen, I guess? Nah. We won't give away with we have that. We're not going to take anything. Yeah, we'll leave everything where it's at. So that's 50, 150, 160. Perfect. Alright, let's do it. So we eliminate that Entei, and even if we lose our Nidoqueen, we have our other Charizard ready to go. So I think we have this one. I think we have this one inside the bag. So there's your lesson, right? There's our lesson from this game here is appropriate use of force, right? Appropriate use of force on the old Pokemon. It's not helpful to discharge or discard things based on getting a high number to show up on that attack animation, right? It's much better to push for appropriate force and allow your Pokemon to remain protected in the way that you need them to be. So yeah, this one went pretty long. So thank you guys for sticking with it. I hope you guys had a really fun time watching. I had a really fun time playing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.